welcome. This is just Wednesday tip session, about 30 minutes or less. Just wanted to share some quick tips that I think every doula can certainly use in different ways. The first one is Linktree. I don't know if you all are familiar with Linktree. There's a traditional way of using it. So I have one. Here, let me move this. If I can move this out of the way, I can show you my Linktree. So Linktree is just a website that combines a whole bunch of links for you. And so it's all in one area. So this is an example of my Linktree where I have the link for the doula community chat. I have it about the birthworker community. I have blog posts I've written, books I've written, things like that. So it's all in one. It's helpful if you have a website or not. Certainly everybody should have a website or be working on getting a website, but whether you have a full website or not, this is helpful, meaning that you can use it in multiple ways. So as a doula, I would recommend anytime you send out an email, anytime you write a blog post, anytime you communicate with potential clients as well as with current clients, make sure you have your key information available in Linktree, or if you don't use Linktree, there's other options, but I like Linktree because it's just so easy to use. And the reason why is because we have found, and there's a lot of stats behind it, that yes, you should have a website. You need a website for SEO and things. But having landing pages or having information that's at their fingertips where folks don't have to go through many pages on a website and comb through a whole website to find certain information, there's usually a better return on that investment. And so you can have a link for your service packages, you have a link to your bio, you can have a link to your calendar, you can have a link for people to pay you, invoicing. So it's just an easy way to have really key parts of your business available at fingertips with one link. So as a doula, just as your business, you certainly can have Linktree or a tree. You can have multiple trees. One of the things I've started doing just within the last 2 weeks is for my client, for one of my clients, I created a tree just for her. And so I did some research on some recommendations, did some research on other websites, just some key issues that she's going through that is helpful for her. And so she has this one link. She doesn't have to go through my website. She doesn't have to go to Google Drive. She doesn't have to go many places. But she has one link that she uses for me, and this is the tree, and in there I have her schedule, when I'll be seeing her, when a copy of her contract is one link, the recommendations that I want to share with her, what key websites to help her with her breastfeeding and things like that are all in Linktree. And so there's a free version of Linktree and there's a paid version. Just depends on how many links you want to have, how many trees you want to have, the look and feel of it, how you want to customize it. So it's definitely can be economical. I think the paid version, the version I have is like $7 a month, but you certainly can do a free version. So just an example of being able to have good information, key information at the fingertips, and it's easier for your clients because they only have one link that they have to go through. And certainly you still need your website, and having a Linktree actually helps your website because, again, the more times your Linktree links are hit and it basically calls home to your website, then that improves traffic and your numbers and your website being recommended anyway. So that was just a quick one, Linktree, and I think somebody has something in the chat. Trying to get back to the chat. So that's the difference, Jennifer, good point. So you can have it personalized, meaning your own picture. You can, I can go in, I can change my picture, I can change Bianca Marie, things like that. But it's limited on the free version. So on the free version, it will say, at the bottom, it has powered by Linktree or something like that. And so their branding is on it, but you are able to personalize it to a degree. Once you do the paid version, then you're able to change the colors and things a little bit more. Great question. So you can use Linktree different ways. I don't know if Brooke is on. I know, okay, she's not on, so I was just going to use her as an example. She's starting a collective. And so as she reaches out to people to get more doulas in her collective, she should have a tree for that. And so it could be a link for, what is a collective? It could be a link for the bylaws and, rules and terms of agreements. It can have the link for another event, whether it's a Facebook link or Eventbrite link, or so my point is with Linktree, you can do a lot with it, and it's simple, and you literally can update it. It takes 2 seconds. So again, you still should have a website, but you know, a lot of things change throughout the week, throughout the month. You don't necessarily want to be updating your website that much, you know, creating a new page on your website, or if you're not even managing your website, you know, and you have a developer, this will cut down on those costs of having to update things so much on your website because you have it on Linktree, and you literally just put a link in and the title of it. So just an option, just wanted to share. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and you can link it to your IG account and things. Yep, exactly. Exactly. As well as with Linktree, if you find that you have a link that's very long, you want to make sure you use Bitly, B-I-T-L-Y, because that can always give you a shortened version of your URL, and that's free as well. Hey, Tasha, you can you talk, or you want to put some in the chat?
Yes, I wanted to ask. So Linktree is basically links.
Yeah.
To information that you're trying to give to your clients.
That's right.
Okay.
So it's basically, so it's one link, right? So you would just copy this link, and that will be, you know, like I have it in my signature of my email, or you can put it wherever. You can post it in your IG, your account, social media. You can post it in your account so people can get it. But so it's just a whole bunch of links. And so when you're, I know a doula now that uses it, and she did it for an interview. And while she was in the interview, she had this up, and her links really went along with guided what she wanted to get across to that mom as she was talking. So one of them was her bio, one of them was references, one was her service packages. And so you can do all sorts of things with it. It's just a good way to have things at your fingertips very quickly.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's just one, Linktree. Another quickly is about apps. Tons of apps out there, right? But one of the ones I just wanted to make sure you all are using an app, or recommend that you use an app such as Evernote or Simple Note, anything like that, because certainly when you're doing virtual, but then also it's helpful in person, you know, whenever you're able to get, you know, in the homes again, postpartum, or even doing birth. You want to make sure you have an app that you can record observations. So like what I do it in person. I always done it in person, but also virtually. I record, you know, big milestones throughout the delivery. When did she go, you know, into active labor? What time did they arrive? What time did she get the epidurals? Those sorts of things, you know, during delivery, because that's helpful if they want to do a birth story, it's recorded for them. If there's some, you know, I've had to even use it for medical issues, you know, it's kind of, you know, the hospital has their log, but this actually was helpful in a case that one of my clients had, having a log as to what happened, you know, key things like that. So have an app, you can do it on your phone, and you want to have an app that you can update and you can email out. And so Evernote and Simple Note are just two that I use, but there's tons out there. But my point is, you want to make sure that you are having some way to record, and it becomes a record for yourself, especially like I have some where, you know, the mom is a second, third time mom with me, and I'm able to go back and see, okay, what happened at that other birth, or some other notes, you know, what if some things that she liked, didn't like, those sorts of things, without having to re-ask the mom. You know your clients, but you know, in the course of a year and a half, you forget some things. And so being able to have that as a record is helpful for them, you know, especially if they want to do, like I said, the birth story, or they want to do a birth video later on with their birth story. Having that, you know, it's just a nice to have, and it helps me, especially when I want to do some recommendations in the postpartum phase, and use the app in the postpartum. So for example, when I do like overnight, when I'm feeding the baby, when I'm changing the baby, if I see, you know, a little redness, a diaper rash, those are the sorts of things that I would note in the app in real time. And then before I leave in the morning, I email it to the mom or to the family. And so that's the way. It just is professional. You know, you're communicating, and lets them know that you are, you know, up, you're awake, and you're attuned, and you're on it all throughout the night. So just want to make sure you have an idea of whatever app that works for you. Evernote, Simple Note, or two that I like. Excuse me. And the third one I just want to share is any sort of design platform. So these first 3 tips are more on the business side, and then I have 2 extra tips that are more on the practice side. But the design platform, and I love Canva, but there's others out there that are Canva competitors that certainly can work just as well. But the point is, as a doula, the more you have your own branding, the more you have things organized and professional, then you don't have to recreate the wheel for every client. And Canva has released some cool tools lately. For example, if you do like your logo in Canva, if you do like a presentation, a proposal in Canva, things like that, there's now on the paid version of Canva, there's also a brand kit. And so it actually takes the next step and show you some new products with your branding already on it. So again, I am always, with my coaching clients and all of my doulas in my network, I'm always trying to make sure that we are working smart, not hard. And so you want to make sure your logo, your design, your name, your website, all of that is consistent, and having a good, easy platform for you to use, and especially things like Canva, where it doesn't work for you, is even better. They even have a feature where it can push to a website. If you don't have a website yet and you like Canva, you can start working on your products in Canva and then eventually build it out into a website. That is in beta, but that's forthcoming. So just an example, Canva or any other platform, but you definitely want to make sure you have a design platform, because then you can make sure your contracts, your service packages, even a lot of times when I meet with clients, if I know, like, for example, the baby's at the 3-month mark or the 6-month mark or whatever mark it is, a lot of times I'll look and see, okay, what development pieces should they have at that point? What kind of toys should they be using for, their stimulation and development? And so, like, I have a one-pager with key toys or key activities they should be doing. And so that's one of the tools, one of the products that I use, and I just built it in Canva. And again, it's just a way, as a doula, you're extending your services, you're sharing your expertise, you're sharing your skills, and you're doing it in a professional and seamless way by just doing a one-pager in Canva. And it all goes with your branding. Or any tool, but Canva is the one that I'm just speaking about, but any sort of design platform. Any questions about any of the recording apps, design platform, or about Linktree? Okay.
The record and share.
Yeah.
What did you say the name of one of them is, or did you?
Yeah, so there's two. One is Evernote and one is Simple Note. I mean, I like those apps because there's even some apps where you can, if you handwrite something, you can take a picture and it will transcribe it for you. You can use it. So any app that does anything like that, you can even use a sticky note app on your phone. It's not, if you're in a crunch and a bind, you certainly can do that. I don't like to do that as a ongoing basis because you can't filter and do searching. But Evernote, Simple Note, and those apps that are made for recording and sharing information, you're able to filter out into search. Great question. So in our last few minutes together, because again, this Wednesday is just all about quick tips and tools, 30 minutes or less. So there's two others I just wanted to share on the practice side. I was talking to a couple of doulas within the last couple of weeks, and some of them didn't know about that, and I just wanted to share. One is, a pink light. I don't know, maybe you already know, but if you know about it, let me know, and then I can move on. But when you're in the hospital room and the mom is trying to get some sleep, if it's late at night, or you are doing postpartum and you're, changing the baby, feeding the baby, and you want the baby to be able to go right back to sleep, then you want to make sure you're using a pink light on your phone instead of, I don't have my phone by me, instead of, your regular light on your phone, because that, you don't want to use a blue light, you don't want to use a white light, because that actually is stimulating. And if you want that baby to go back to sleep, that's opposite of what you're trying to do, right? So a pink light, there's an app for that, or you can do a flashlight app on your phone, and that way, especially if you're in the nursery, you just want to check on the baby and things like that. You just have the pink light, and you'll be able to see well, and it actually isn't disturbing. That is actually calming and soothing to the baby, as well as, in the case of you going on checking the mom, you need some light, you're moving around the house, you don't want to wake up everybody in the house, you don't want to cut on all the lights in the house or in the nursery. Make sure you have a pink light saved on your phone, or a flashlight saved on your phone, and you select pink on it, because it's a way that you can see, not trip and fall and things like that as you work on postpartum visits. Or even in the hospital room, a pink light. Okay, And the last one is TENS unit. So let me know in the chat. Is everybody already familiar with TENS? If you are, let me know. But this is a recommendation, especially if you're doing virtual right now. TENS unit, and there's tons of information out here, so let me just go to it. I've used 10 units for years, even before, you know, I became officially a doula, and before I got pregnant and things, I used it. Well, we use it on base all the time as part of just physical therapy, and it's basically a very deep massage. Let me see, there's a picture. You just put the patches on you and you turn up the unit, and it just pulses. It gives you basically a deep massage, and it makes your muscles contract and relax. It's helpful when you are, I thought there was a picture of one. Yeah. So it's like this. So it's helpful if you're in pain. It helps like with arthritis and all those sorts of things. But when it comes to helping a mom in labor, it's good before she gets into really active labor, when she's at home, maybe she's just a little bit uncomfortable, or you know, hasn't really gone into active labor yet. Then this is something that's helpful, especially if you are being virtual as a doula. This is something you can walk them through. It's something you can send to them in advance. Some doulas are adding it to their kit that they're mailing to their families that they're going to support virtually. It gives the mom something to do. It gives the partner, the spouse, the, you know, whoever is the helper there in the room with them at the hospital or birthing center, it gives them something to do. They can help, you know, set it up. They can help monitoring it. And it's so for pregnancy, you know, pregnant, you don't want to put it anywhere. Like this picture's on the front. You definitely don't want to put it anywhere in the abdominal, pelvic, anywhere in the front. For pregnant moms, it's helpful if they're having back pains. You know, you can put it on the shoulders, it's relaxing that way, or in their lower back. There's a lot of research out there on it. If the mom, you talk about it with advance with the mom, then they can talk about it with their doctor, but it's very common to be used for pain relief across the board. And especially if you're helping a mom virtually, this is another idea that you can offer. The units, I've gotten both of mine from Amazon. I wish I had them right now, but one is with the mom and one is with one of my doula friends that's teaching a class today. So I don't have a unit to show you, but they're very helpful. You can get them on Amazon. Some are cheap as $30, some are expensive as $300. There's really not a difference. It's not something that you quote unquote necessarily use every day. So the more expensive ones I found are just helpful with not having to replace the pads so much, but at the same time, you need to replace the pads, especially with COVID and everything else like that. So it's not something that you're gonna reuse. You can always buy new, the patches anyway. So it's not necessary to buy a $300 one is what I'm saying. They work pretty much the same way. So those are 2 practical tips for as you practice. Just wanted to share, as well as 3 tips that you can, tools that you can use on the business side of being a doula. So just wanted to share those quick tips today. Do we have any questions? I know we're multitasking and things, but do we have any questions, or can I help you all with anything else in regards to any of these tips? Oh, okay, I see a couple comments here. Okay, so Rhonda, you said you weren't familiar with it. Oh yeah, Jennifer used it. Yeah, I used from, you know, being in the military and stuff, my arms, you know, or my shoulders had issues, and so I had to use TENS units all the time. It's very, very helpful. Yeah, and it's definitely helpful in the back. Oh, good. So Tasha, you saw it in the group. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right, ladies. Well, I just wanted to share this information. This file, this document that I went over, I will post it in the virtual toolkit that's in the membership site, so you'll be able to grab it from there, as well as this video. But I look forward to your feedback. I'm glad this was helpful. The next event I think we have is Mentoring Monday, and that's where if you have any questions, shoot them to me in advance, and when we jump on Mentoring Monday, I think Monday at noon, we can go through it. It's just a time where we can talk about anything that you're going through, any thing that you need help researching, anything like that. That's what Mentoring Monday is all about. And then we have a masterclass coming up as well, I think on Wednesday. And so that's, like I said, the masterclass is a little bit longer, closer to like an hour or so, but the tips, check-in, mentoring tips, things like that, I try to just do it 30 minutes. And so that way you always have access to me and to the information that you may need. So always, I put my phone number in the chat. And Natasha, you said you need to reach out to me. There's that 404 number. So if you all need any one-off conversations or anything like that, certainly feel free to text me or send me an email.
Is it okay?
Okay. Did somebody, I'm looking to check, did somebody have a, no? Okay, so June is all about being a virtual doula and success as a virtual doula in our membership community. And so you'll see a virtual toolkit in there with like blog posts that are available for you. You can just download and use, not blog posts, social media posts. So like you can put on IG or Facebook or anything like that. That's available in there. A checklist. You know, if you're just starting off as being a virtual doula, checklist, some things you need to consider and just make sure you're ready for. That's in there. We have some reviews and recommendations. So there's a lot in the membership site. Every week, new content will be released, and every month there'll be a new thing. So reach out to me. Let me know if you all need anything. And I'm so glad you're able to join me today. And we are at 12:30 on the dot, y'all. All right. Awesome. Glad it was helpful. Glad it was helpful. All right. So I will talk to you all soon. Email me or text me if y'all need anything. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, y'all. See you later.